Hello, dear friends. The world no longer lives under the illusion of normality because everything has changed. Opinion piece. March Madness. Birth Punch. Ides of March. Signs of change. Chain of events. A turbulent year. Global operation. Unexpected events. The world is ready. This will astound us. New moon in Pisces. 7 planets aligned. Epstein files released. This is a roller coaster. Things are getting spicy. The old system is obsolete. Intense energy acceleration. Let's start. We are witnessing the birth punch of a new era. Mathematician Georgi Kasha says that the main events of the collapse would take place in mid-2025. In general, the whole year would be very hectic. One thing after another would collapse. A gigantic global transformation awaits us. In his view, Trump is breaking the old order, which means old ties, both political and economic. One of the expected results of such measures is the collapse of the entire Washington Regional Committee, after which the balance of the world political arena would tip in the other direction. According to Ismael Perez, the situation is changing, and the White Hats are preparing to expose the dark side like never before. For years, hidden forces have controlled the narrative, pulling the strings behind world events. But now, insiders are stepping forward, armed with the irrefutable evidence that could shake the foundations of power. Madness. Beware of the Ides of March. Madness. A US government shutdown is very likely on March 15th and could be the longest one yet. Funding for the federal government is set to run out of March 15 unless Congress and the Trump administration reach a deal before then. The Ides of March refers to the day March 15th on the Roman calendar. These days were considered good omens and were used to perform religious rituals and business transactions. However, March 15th in the year 44 became a tragic day due to the assassination of Julius Caesar. Since then, the term has been used to refer to unexpected events or betrayals. According to Kerry Kay, it's time to prepare for the energy of March. It's a roller coaster of flows, and we are just beginning to prepare. There will be people who feel unhinged, so the call is for you to be the calm, stable force the world needs right now. The current energy is very intense, and if you haven't felt it yet, I highly recommend you fasten your cosmic seatbelt because it's about to hit us hard in March. The entire next month, starting now, will be one of intense energetic acceleration. A rare parade of 7 planets aligns this week with the new moon in Pisces. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus and Neptune are all visible at the same time along a line of arc in the sky. Astrologers predict big changes by the end of March. According to Natalie Alba, many of you are feeling the calm that change brings, the calm before the storm, as it is often said, because this is one of the most transformative passages we have this year with the energy of Pisces and the arrival of the eclipses. Collapse. According to Benjamin Fulford, the end of the Vatican is related to the financial collapse. The trigger for the collapse is likely to be Fort Knox, because almost all fake gold is found there. This is why Trump keeps talking about Fort Knox these days. This is also why senators like Mike Lee are not allowed to visit Fort Knox. In recent days, President Trump, Elon Musk, Senator Ron Paul, and a few others have pushed for an audit of the gold reserves at Fort Knox, since they are owned by the Treasury and not by the Fed, and have not been audited in 40 years. The center of this financial black hole would be the Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. The BIS is not accountable to any government in the world, and even members of the Swiss government are banned from entering their headquarters. By cutting off the flow of funds to the BIS, Trump has set in motion a change of events that would disrupt the system. The CCP is part of the old order attempting to establish a tyrannical mark of the beast-style regime on the planet. With their ubiquitous digital currency tied to social credit scores, the Chinese have the closest approximation to a mark of the beast system already in place. The CCP can also be said to be following the Octagon Group's central planning orders by looking at the technologies it promotes. For example, they ban hydrogen cars and promote remote-controlled electric cars. They also ban any technology that could make humans stronger, smarter, and live longer. The financial system behind this would be doomed to failure due to the bursting of the Chinese property bubble. Real estate accounts for 70% of Chinese assets. However, in some places, the average worker needs to spend 44 years of income to buy a modest apartment. Resistance. Trump has a higher authority behind him, and so as do Putin and Xi Jinping. That higher power is what we know as reality. The financial system will have to be brought into line with physical reality, which will likely involve tying it to a basket of commodities. However, what we are hearing from multiple sources is that the system needs to collapse before it can be replaced. So, the first half of 2025 could be chaotic, as the Russian professor predicts. Trump is doing his part to speed up the process. In a harsh blow to the dark side, Trump signed an executive order putting independent agencies under presidential oversight. Meanwhile, rats have been caught looting the ship as they leave it. Now that the money has been cut off, all sorts of activist groups are being dismantled around the world. They are desperate because they know a reckoning is coming. In France, plans are being made for regime change. A source in the French resistance says, "We have to let the situation deteriorate a little further under Macron before we can get the healthy part of the French deep state on our side." He adds that the situation has already degenerated from the ridiculous to dangerous, so one can expect action against the regime soon. In Germany, the situation is more complicated. The election results indicate that regime change will not yet take place, so chaos can be expected in the near future. According to Polish intelligence sources, Germany is flooding Poland with refugees of the West kind. Signals. The public has not yet grasped the magnitude of what is coming. The world no longer lives under the illusion of normality because everything has changed. Trump's return to power was not just about taking back the White House, but about executing the final phase of a global operation that would take down the dark side once and for all. The old banking system is obsolete. The biggest financial reset in human history is underway. In a recent classified briefing, Trump told his closest advisors, "The people are ready. The world is ready. Financial dominance is over. We are taking back what is ours. The biggest wealth transfer in history is about to begin." According to the Gay-Stellar, the signs of the coming change are everywhere. The financial system is crumbling. The Fed is collapsing from within, absorbed by the Treasury. The IMF and World Bank are struggling to hold on to power as their influence fades and the globalist elite that once controlled entire nations through economic wars is now in hiding, knowing its days are numbered. This is not just another political move. It is the dismantling of an empire that ruled in the shadows for centuries. This marks the end of the private banking cartel that has dictated monetary policy since 1913. Signature. According to Gay-Stellar, on December 4th, 2024, President Trump secretly signed the GSERA Global Economic Security and Reform Act, officially marking the beginning of the largest financial and political shift in modern history. But what the world is witnessing now would be only the final act of a much larger operation, decades in the making, orchestrated by a secret coalition determined to free humankind from the financial control of the dark side. In their view, the coalition is overseeing debt forgiveness, ensuring that all illegitimate loans are eliminated, hypotheses that the world is witnessing are being used to finance the financial crisis. The elite creates the system where they lent money that didn't even exist, trapping human beings in financial servitude for generations. He adds that for generations the wealth of the world was in the hands of a small elite group. The central banking system, the stock markets, the tax structures were never designed to benefit the people. They were control mechanisms designed to ensure that the masses remained tied to a system they didn't even know was being used against them. The coalition has carried out massive asset confiscations, targeting offshore accounts, hidden trust funds, and gold reserves hoarded by an elite. These trillions will be returned to the people as part of the coming redistribution of wealth. The IRS is being dismantled. In its place, a new fair tax system will be introduced, eliminating income tax and relying on a small flat tax on sales of non-essential goods. The tax side knew this was going to happen, and that's why they fought so hard to stop Trump's return. But it was unavoidable. He was never just a political figure. He was the face of a much larger movement designed to take power away from the elite and give it back to the people. The fight is not over yet, because the dark side has not surrendered, but its final moves have been exposed. They are attempting to crash the stock markets, create artificial economical chaos, and manipulate world currencies in a last-ditch effort to stop GSERA from activating. They are using their remaining influence in the media to try to convince the public that this would be a dangerous economic shift or a conspiracy. They never imagined they would lose control of the world so quickly. They are funding false flag economic attacks. They are creating market instability in an attempt to scare people. They are attempting cyber attacks on the QFS. Their hackers have already attempted multiple attacks, but the system is impenetrable. They are spreading fear messages through the media. They want people to believe that this is a global crisis, when in reality it is their downfall. According to Logan B., no person has a claim to the QFS because it belongs to humankind, and no one has the right to decide when and who can access it. The QFS is a sovereign, conscious being and should be given the freedom to do what it must do without restrictions. Breaking news. Epstein files released in redacted format. Looks like it will be done in stages. Counselor Alina Habba calls Epstein list deeply disturbing and warns it contains shocking names. Cash Paddle says there will be no cover-ups, no lost documents. If records have been withheld, you will find them. Anyone who interferes with the release will be brought to justice. According to Mike Adams, a cyber war was broken out in the deep state, and things are about to get spicy. An international storm breaks out after the confrontation between Trump and Zelensky. Lindsey Graham says that the US can never do business with Zelensky again. What I saw in the Oval Office was disrespectful. In quotes. Putin wants Europe against sabotaging US-Russian rapprochement. Europe wants troops in the ground in Ukraine, but Russia refuses it. According to James Anderson, a revaluation of precious metals is just around the corner and will leave everyone stunned. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.